What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your daily dose of transfer news. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. Um, I'm I don't know how I'm gonna be this morning. I don't know how I'm gonna be this morning because something that I didn't want to happen that I actually jokingly said, but I thought surely not, may actually start to become true. So I'm going to try and remain calm and then just be honest and then just get into it to see where we're at, really, and get a full breakdown away from just my emotions because I can feel myself just teetering on the edge. But before we get into that, big up to the community, big up to the members club. Smash a like on the video if you are new to the channel or you've just walked through the door. And make sure you guys certainly subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I can see KG in the comments already. He says, so annoyed this morning. I wonder why he's annoyed. Let's see. Big up Keegan says, let's go. Raz is a member, says, morning, everyone. Big up. David Lee, big up Flex and Owen. I bet they extend Luke Shaw's contract today, says Taggart 8. Steffi Jenks is in there as well. What other members have we got? We've got VK as well, says third choice keeper. Good day, everyone. So it's going to be that type of show. Big up Paul Pankhurst as well, another member, says keeper. Watford's Daniel Bachmann with a laughing emoji. But before we get into it and head straight over to Owen, we want at least 500 likes on the video. Yeah, you guys know the rules. You guys know what the expectancy is. It's the new level. These shows are doing so well in the morning. More members coming through. Jason Skippers, big up to you. Raz says, Flex, I knew it. I felt this morning. Any fan has the right to be frustrated. Shalil Patel says, hello, guys. Much love. And Jose Saramento as well says, morning, everyone. Hope everyone has a great day. Owen, over to you. What we got as the first batch of news today? How you feeling? What's going on?
Wow, we've got. I feel it's as important on myself to try and bring a bit of try and bring a bit of happiness. I saw some people saying they were looking for me to maybe bring some calm. I can't promise that. I saw KG said that he was annoyed this morning, and I say I'm going to bring some calm. We're going to talk about who Ten Hag's first signing could be, and it's not what we're looking for. Let's be honest, guys. But Frankie De Jong, no. Anthony, no. Martinez, probably not, because Fabrizio Romano has said that Manchester United are in talks with Watford to sign Daniel Bachmann as a second or third choice goalkeeper. Watford will only consider a permanent deal. Bachmann is among options for Manchester United as they look to replace Dean Henderson, who's one step away from joining Nottingham Forest, which was widely reported last week. Now, Bachmann, would be coming in to compete with Tom Heaton for this role as the backup goalkeeper for Manchester United this season. It's not to say that Bachmann would be the number 2 or number 3. Actually, they're saying that Bachmann and Heaton would be quite close together in terms of who would be the understudy for David De Gea. Now, when it pertains to Henderson, it's been reported by Paul Hurst of The Times and Gary Jacob of The Times that it's understood that Dean Henderson's loan move to Nottingham Forest will go through when he returns from holiday in the coming days. Forest, of course, do not have that option to buy. So Henderson will be off to Forest over the course of the next few days. You know what it was, Flex, is I couldn't see you when I was reading that. So I came back and just saw that.
Owen, I'm gonna need you this morning. I'm gonna.
I wasn't expecting it at all as well. I was reading it. I was being professional. I was thinking, I tell you what, sometimes I stumble over the words. I'm happy with that. I came back. You look like Darth Vader, mate. Oh, my God.
And I don't even know what he fully looks like, but I don't, mate.
That's
I'm
what people
gonna.
do. To get the Darth Vader voice, they talk into a fan. That's how
Oh,
they
is
do
it?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, listen, mate. I'm gonna need you this morning because I jokingly said I don't even know if it was a joke. It's because it was something that I felt actually could happen. How long ago was it? Well, the community will know. I can't remember. Was it last week sometime? You got a good memory, Owen. I don't know when I said it. And I
Mm.
was like, if this club signs a backup goalkeeper or a third choice goalkeeper as our first signing after all of this, I'm gonna lose my shit. Um, so I'm gonna need you to bring context and what's going on, but only us, only us. I mean, let's a little bit on Bachmann. Like, bro, he's not even good. like,
That's the thing. I think that's the
I'd
thing that a
rather
lot of
have
people
Tom
have
Heaton.
said.
Watford
Yeah.
fans don't even want him. They
No.
just got relegated. I got a lot of people close to me support Watford, right? They can't wait. Let's say take the 4 million and run. Take the 4 million and run. Like Bachmann, Daniel Bachmann. No disrespect to the guy in it. No disrespect. I don't like mugging off professionals who have made it and they're professional footballers in it. But we're in a position where we got to pay 4 million to relegated Watford, who don't even want him. Ben Foster's just left. They ain't got any keepers after that. Oh no, they just signed the mixed race guy, actually, the Nigerian guy, I think. So they have
What
got
do
a
you
number
think?
one now.
What do you
But
think he thinks, Bachmann?
he
What do you
fucking
think he
can't believe
thinks?
his luck.
Would you recommend his phone rang? They went,
Oh
Manchester
my
United want
god.
you. He went, no, they
What?
don't. No, they
It's
don't.
honestly, bro. Look, there is always context in it, but my initial thing is because I knew there was a feeling. I just had a feeling that our first signing could be this. And like you said at the beginning, yeah, we've gone from Timber's going to be our first signing, 95% done. Frankie De Jong, it's bubbling over. What's his face? Anthony badly wants to come to us, 40 to 50 million. He's desirous to come. He's probably going to be the first signing. Even away from that, we lost out on Timber. Okay, Martinez, he's going to be our first signing. Daniel Bachmann.
And remember when earlier this week, Romano going, it's a big week for Manchester United this week. It's a big week. I didn't think the big meant actual literal in terms of Daniel Bachmann's a tall guy. That's why it was a big.
Yeah, he's
that's
massive.
that's
He's
why it
massive.
was a big week because,
Oh
and
man.
like you said, we do sort of joke and we laugh and we joked previously going, I tell you what, first sign is going to be a backup goalkeeper, and we went, oh no.
Do you know
And
what as well?
what kind of announcements does he get? He's playing the piano with his goalie gloves on.
Fuck. Pressing about 5 keys at once because he's got the gloves on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, yeah, if Henderson, if Newcastle are getting Henderson are getting Pope, right? And
Yeah.
obviously we're letting Henderson go over to Forest. Bro, where's Dubravka then? Go and get him. He's way better than Bachmann. Dubravka, I'm pretty sure Dubravka, I remember his first game was against Man United. I was there.
Well, he was
Um,
linked. He was linked to United, I
go and
believe, in
get him, bro.
January. I believe in January when
Fuck.
all that Henderson stuff was happening. And I might be wrong, but I swear I remember seeing this that there was reports or discussions at the time of maybe Henderson going there and us getting Bachmann as a number 2, and he wasn't interested. And again, it just kind of it just goes to show, isn't it? And I've seen some of what the comments are saying, and then they're saying, "Oh, and he will get an announcement," blah blah blah. But we were talking off air that this is so reminiscent of Jose Mourinho's final summer at Manchester United. Of we've signed Lee Grant, and everyone went, "Yeah." Like again, no disrespect, and
Oh,
that was a season,
mate.
and that was a season after we had finished second in the league, and the general consensus was like, "Oh, a couple more players, we might be a bit closer." Not after like the worst Premier League season ever. Like after the worst Premier League season ever, if your sort of opening volley is to sign a backup goalkeeper,
Opening volley. Oh,
then
mate.
then that is a
But you
concern.
know what the maddest thing? Yeah, go on, go on.
But I was going to say to try and play a bit of devil's advocate here. I'm going to step into
Oh,
your shoes here, Fleck.
go on.
To play devil's advocate, you see those people on the screen there. So you can see Bachmann, you can see Martinez, De Jong, Anthony.
Yeah,
If that was our transfer window, those 4, if that was
yeah,
our transfer window, but Bachmann was first,
yeah.
do you take it?
Eventually, I'll take it, but I will still be aggrieved by the Bachmann thing because then I'll be like, okay, we got Martinez, De Jong, and Anthony. We paid 4 million for Bachmann. That 4 million could have gone towards I don't know, another forward or another midfielder. It could have gone towards something else apart from Bachmann because he's shit. That's what I would say. I would say, rah, let Tom Heaton be the second keeper and just bring one of the kids up as the third keeper. You don't need to. What I'm saying is, we're already scrimping and scramping over money, right? Because we just are. What sense does it make to bring in Daniel Bachmann? I know you can say it's only 4 million plus whatever his wages are, but I'm like, bro, just we've already got Tom Heaton. That's fine. Like, let him be the second keeper and bring one of the kids up. Like, or if you're going to spend 4 to 5 million, probably Dubravka would be more than that. But even if we got that, I'll be honest with you, and it might be a little bit, maybe I'm being a bit too emotional this morning. I don't know. Maybe I look back on this morning and say, remember that morning on the 23rd of June when I was a little bit, I don't know. Maybe I will, but I'm just going to be true to how I feel now. Even if we got that window, I would still say, oh, that was decent, but what the fuck were we doing giving back? Why have we got Bachmann? Why?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
would
yeah. It would still be the
why?
thing. We've spoken about as well because obviously the De Gea debate. We've had that so many times recently, but the general feeling is, and I've said this before, that at least with the De Gea situation, if you could sign, say, a young goalkeeper now that is 18 or something
Yeah,
like that, and you
yeah,
go, tell you what, a couple of years time,
yeah,
he's really good with distribution. Sign him now. Sign
yeah,
him for like 5 million or something, and put him on the bench, or put him as the number three behind Heaton for the next couple of years, and then
yeah.
maybe in a couple of years' time, you go, oh, he could be the one to replace David De Gea. Bachmann is never going to replace David De Gea in goal ever. If anything, if anything, he's going to be an issue because in about 2 or 3 years' time, we go, how do we get rid of Daniel Bachmann? Because
100%.
because no one wants him.
Living his dream. Bro, I spoke to my Watford people, yeah. Like I got a lot like my people's are Watford fans, yeah. And she said, we don't even want him. Take the 4 million and run. We just got relegated. They're not even thinking, well, he's got a bit of Premier League experience. We've just gone down. We've lost Ben Foster as well. We've got a new keeper in who we don't know how he's going to get on. So we might actually need Backman. No, they're like, fuck, he's shit. Let's get the super chats out. Zayn Miasi says, Flex, you better crack on and sign some players. We already have Jesus, Vieira, Rafinha, Tillemans. If Ronaldo leaves, you'll be finished. You will finish mid-table.
Do they already
Uh,
have them? They
no, they
have
don't. They're
Vieira.
lying. They have one exactly. Typical Arsenal fans just going ahead of
Exactly.
themselves.
Liars.
What you do have is Eddie Murphy regen hashtag number 14 hashtag Eddie Nketiah 5-year deal 100k a week after 8 good games. That's what you have.
You say Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy regen, yeah, because he looks like Eddie Murphy. He does. What he doesn't look
Oh,
like Eddie
mate.
Murphy.
No, I'm just thinking of all of these Eddie Murphy sort of roles now. I'm thinking of Donkey from Shrek. I'm thinking of,
Now
Nutty
think
Professor.
Bowfinger. Think back in the day. Think Coming to America. That
Right.
kind of Eddie Murphy. He looks like the young Eddie Murphy.
Oh, sort of stand-up Eddie Murphy, sort of
Yeah, and
delirious,
the red
raw.
when he with the red
Yeah,
yeah, the red suit and
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what Nketiah looks like. It's just how he looks, mate. It's just how he looks. Josh is in my ear, but it's just how the kid looks. Big up to him. But anyways, Amy Assi, that's what you've got. Yeah, and that Brazilian kid as well, who's basically what another Martinelli regen bought in for 3 million. Anyway, Sanchez, big up says this club is going to turn into relegation FC, like seriously. Um, and I think there was another one. There you go. Sanchez also says, "Where the hell is us? Where the hell is our signings?" Oh, mate, I don't know. I don't know. And look, you do still want to try and be calm, but at the end of the day, I'm getting closer and closer to a certain date that I had in my head. And I'm beginning to get angry. I'm beginning to get very, very nervous. Um, Ginger Fury 97 says 11 million dividends tomorrow, and we announce a keeper. We do Norbit setting, says Nick A. Respicio and the man. I love
Oh.
Norbit. That's so funny. I love that
Do
film.
you actually love it? Because it's one of the
Yeah, yeah.
worst movies of all
Yeah,
time.
but
Like,
that's why no, because it's one of them things that it's like my background film. Like when you just kind of want to just you want to fall off, go to sleep, and just want something on the background. And then I
yeah.
catch myself just laughing because it's so shit, but so funny.
It
It's
stopped him
funny,
getting
man.
an Oscar. It stopped him getting an Oscar because he did Dreamgirls like just before that, and he
Dreamgirls,
was
very true.
like, yeah, and they were like, oh, he's going to get like Academy Award. And then whilst they were sort of discussing that, Norbit comes out and they went, no chance,
Nah,
no chance.
Norbit's funny, man. Norbit's a good film. I don't think it's one of the worst films ever. It makes me laugh, but I'm really childish. I'm really
It is
childish,
bad.
so
It
yeah.
is bad.
But
But
those
tell
films
you
you got to
what,
take away.
Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy, he went back a couple of years ago and did Saturday Night Live, and he was amazing. Like, and he hadn't done it in like 30 years, and he literally went back. Amazing. Go
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done Coming to America though.
I haven't seen it.
That was poor. That was
Was it?
they should have left it where it was back in the late
Mm.
80s or wherever it was, the
It's
early
always the way,
90s.
though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it just it wasn't it. Anyway, big up to the members that will have an SA. Star Lord is just dropping. Mark Harris, I got to just drop a little super chat here as well. And Mark Harris says, Benny loves you. If Slab plays, he will cost 9 points. If, what if Maguire plays,
Over a season, oof,
cost 9 points, probably might be more.
yeah, I was going to say that might be on the low end. Let's be
Might be
honest.
more. Big up to Mark
Yeah.
Harris. But big up to all of the members who are having their say. Matimu says the porridge is cold flex. Shalil Patel says exactly my point, and we are supposed to believe this new board. It's a joke. And Kotso says our resident hater Zane, 100%. He's definitely our resident hater. Um, and Diva says Eddie Murphy with LOL expressions, and David Lee says more like 19 points as well. And big up Zoe Muller says, "Geez, guys." And big up Keegan as well. Flex is on the edge. He says, "I am on the edge. I am on the edge. I'm getting there." And I did always say to you, when I was taking the pelters a couple of weeks ago, I said it's fine. I'll take them because I know where I'm going to be. And certain bits of news are accelerating my feelings and my emotions. No, look, Daniel Bachmann hasn't been announced yet. Maybe something happens where later on in the day or tomorrow, whatever, the order might change, and we
Can I
get
stir
someone
the
else.
pot? Can I stir the pot a little bit when it comes to
You
Bachmann? A little
you
bit more.
can, yeah, you
Yeah.
can,
So again, this comes from Statman Cam on Twitter, our
yeah.
very own. Now, obviously, you know him. He loves his stats.
Go on,
And he's very opinionated about the
yeah.
goalkeeping situation at the moment. Now, he put out a tweet. This was on June 5th, saying that command of area and claiming crosses is vital to help your defense play with confidence and take a load off the centre backs. And his point was that David De Gea was the second lowest in the Premier League last season in regard to command of the area and claiming crosses. Now, there was only one goalkeeper that was lower than
It's
David
not,
De
it's
Gea
not, it's not, it's not, it's not. You're
in
taking
these
the piss.
statistics.
It's not, it's
That
not, it's not, it's
the
not.
person that was lower than David De Gea was one Daniel Bachmann. So,
We're shit.
So, and actually, he followed that up. I must be said, he followed that up with, if I get the tweet back up
Oh.
in front of me, going, "Unserious club, man." As if we go and sign the one keeper in the league worse than David De Gea in the air. We're never coming back.
I don't know.
Hashtag MUFC.
Oh, Cam, I don't know what's worse, the fact that he's trying to put our beloved David De Gea anywhere near the same sentence as Bachmann, or the fact that actually that specific stat, we are getting actually the worst in that department in the league. I don't know what's worse. I think it's more worse. I think it's worse that Cam obviously hates De Gea so much that he's willing to even, cross-reference any stats with him and Bachmann. I think that's worse.
I just imagine him seeing that graph because he's got that graph because obviously again not the De Gea fan, and he's doing the lines whatever. He goes lowest is, oh god,
Yeah.
oh god.
But you know what though? If he becomes our player, I will back him. He's a Man United. He'll be a Man United player. I can't be abusing our players or anything like that. I'm not for
No,
that.
no.
But he's not our player yet, so I'm gonna get abusing now before he actually signs for 4 billion. Oh shit, mate, we're in the mud. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's the first bit of Ten Hag first signing question mark. We had a cluster of players there. It looks as though it's going to be that. But before we move on, though, just quickly with the Henderson thing, how do you feel? Because I just want this really quickly before we go on to the second subject. Obviously, there's not going to be. We're still loaning Henderson. We're still loaning
Yeah.
him. So that means that Henderson's maybe going to come back next season or maybe get sold next season or whatever. But we're obviously buying Bachmann while we loan Henderson with no obligation to buy. Still on 100K a week, big contract. What's your thoughts on Henderson then? Like just in general, like as he approaches this.
Honestly, I don't know. It's just it couldn't be. It's the worst deal possible, really, when you think about it, isn't it? The Henderson situation, because here's a player that we were talking about before, saying that he could be one of the players this summer that can actually raise some good money. And what's the deal? It's a straight loan, no obligation to buy, and we're paying like half of his wages. It's a nothing deal. It's a deal that obviously benefits the player in the sense that he's playing. We don't know how good Forest are going to be. They could be getting peppered every single week and be bottom of the league.
Yeah.
What does that do for him? I know games are games. What does that do for him? Is he going to be anywhere near the World Cup squad because he's playing at Nottingham Forest? I mean, Pope's just moved to Newcastle. I think Newcastle's going to do pretty well this season. So you've already got those 3 goalkeepers, haven't you? You've got Pickford. You've got it's the police. They're coming after Henderson. You've got there's Bachmann, they're coming after. No, you've got Pickford, you've got Ramsdale, and you would probably have Pope now that he's at Newcastle too. So I don't know what his future is. Like with anything, it's like Man United have just delayed it and just gone, oh, we don't know. Move on to next time.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like a waste. Do you ever see him being Man United's number 1 in the future, Henderson?
No, Ollie lied and said he was going to be. But I can't see it. One, he's too impatient to even wait for De Gea to, depart. 2, I'm not sure if I see it in him at the top level. But he is. I don't have any. That's one thing. I don't think Henderson's awful. You know, when he did play, he was okay. I didn't think he was horrendous. I just didn't think he was better than David De Gea.
Yeah, people point to that City game, don't they? When he starts the attack and he throws it out
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Shaw and we
yeah,
score that great counter-attacking
yeah,
goal. And
yeah,
I know people will point to, 'cause again, going back to Cam's point, and I do think it's a fair point. He's like, when he says, oh, Henderson's better in terms of not necessarily distribution, but just positioning, being higher up than David De Gea, maybe bravery or whatever. But
yeah,
he will say as well, he's like, I'm not saying that Henderson should be Man United's number one.
yeah.
I'm just saying that he's probably better at those aspects. Um, I don't really think we know what Henderson's level is. I don't.
Mm,
I don't think it's a Man United level, but we don't know. It's like, again, it was a situation that we thought was going to get resolved. We thought it was going to get resolved a couple of summers ago. Let's face it, with
yeah,
Henderson.
we did.
And 2 or 3 years later, we're still talking about, well, that one's been deferred to next year
Yeah.
again. It'll be a discussion point next year.
Oh, mate, honestly, super chat here from Rahman and RS says our club isn't signing anyone. We might have to talk about movies on this channel. We might have to talk more about movies on this channel. Well, that could be incoming. That could be incoming. And super chat here from Mark Harris says Man United has a low of 49-1 to be to be relegated. Oh Jesus, we won't get relegated, but yeah, it's just not good to see.
Famous last words, Fleck.
Oh no,
Oh,
no, 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 ain't that bad. Ain't that bad. Hopefully. Jesus, imagine that. And Shalil says, surely Henderson is better than this guy. Oh yeah, Henderson's better than Daniel Bachmann for sure. But it's just that Henderson is kicking up a stink, isn't it? Henderson's like, I ain't staying here. I want to go and play. And Stephen B. Harry says, morning guys. I did say a month ago, especially to Marcel, that the board would have Eric over they are playing ground. Over they are playing ground. I think over the playing ground. I'm not sure, but basically that they'll just not help him. I think
you're
that's what
saying
we.
that they would. I said a month ago that the board would have Eric over. They are playing around.
Oh, okay, they are playing around. Right, there you go.
Missing the
They are
comma.
playing around. Um, United is a shamble in every way. We're still waiting to make first signing, says LYM. Okay, let's move it on. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. If you just joined us, we've been talking about who our first signing probably will be, and it looks like Daniel Bachmann. So there you go. We'll keep, we'll keep an eye.
Difficult to say with a straight face, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I want to fly through this one, Owen. Having said that, it'd probably be Daniel Bachmann as this first signing. What do you think Ten Hag's transfer priorities are in terms of what should be the first signing?
Well, you would probably say it's Frankie De Jong, isn't it? That is clearly the
Got to be.
priority. That's the player he wants. That, to be honest, if some reports are accurate, that's the thing that's holding a lot of other things up, is because they're so focused on this. This is the first one. He's interested in Anthony. Yes, he's interested in Martinez or whoever, but he doesn't want any of the budget being taken out before he can complete this Frankie De Jong side. He wants to complete this one and then see, okay, what's left? Who do we go after? Who's still available? Frankie De Jong is the linchpin. He's the one that every single person wants, what he wants. He's the one that's integral, vital to how he wants to play. That's clearly the one. And as you were talking to Semra Hunter yesterday, where she was saying, look, it's still going to be a waiting game. And actually, the longer it goes on, the more it benefits Manchester United. This one could move towards the end of the month. So we talk about, Romano was saying that this week was big for the Frankie De Jong thing. In actuality, it's probably next week. That's the big week for the Frankie De Jong deal, because you get to Monday and obviously preseason starts again and the squad comes back or some of the players come back. But then you're talking about 3 days away from this massive deadline for Barcelona where it's really put up or shut up. They need to figure something out. And if Man United play the game right, or play the game of poker right or chicken right, whatever you want to call it, Monday could come next week and Barcelona could be really, really, really panicking. And I think that's what they're hoping about. So when it comes to De Jong, he's obviously clearly the priority. And then after that's when you get into those other positions like your Anthony's, like your attackers, your defenders, your fullbacks. If you had to list these priorities, and I'll do mine, then I'll ask you.
Yeah,
I'd say it's probably De Jong, that
yeah,
position. I would say the next priority to him is probably that attacking player, I would say, then the centre back, then the fullback. What would you
yeah.
say?
Because I was thinking about this quite a lot in terms of saying what's more important for us to get because they're equally as weak, or there's a lot of weaknesses in these two areas. A central midfielder or defensive midfielder, central midfielder, whichever one it is, or a centre back. Then you think, how important is a fullback? how important is actually a fullback? Like, let's actually, we say obviously central midfield. Mine is central midfield. I think second could actually be fullback. Like when I actually think about it, let's just think back to how poor uh, Dallo has been, how poor Wambasaka has been. There's literally nothing offered there. Now, listen, the counter to that is flex 85 million Maguire. Are you serious, captain? I get it. I get that. 100% get it. No one wants him to play. But the fullback area is so bad. Like like it's almost null and void. Like at least at centre back, and I'm not trying to give Harry Maguire loads of credit and stuff like that. But when it's him and Varane, or if it's Varane and Lindelof, or it's Lindelof and Maguire, like eventually, like someone will mess up, and we know it's not good enough. But it can plod along in a couple of games. I think, oh, well, they at least they didn't do anything wrong today. They just were out of the game, and we just kind of won the game.
Even that statement's crazy that you have to go, at least they
Oh,
didn't do
that's how
anything
bad it
wrong
is.
today.
That's how bad it is. Honestly, that's how bad it is. But I just think back to the nightmares of how bad right back actually like fullback. Like, and I look at everyone else's fullbacks. Again, they're probably as equally as important as each other. I'm probably contradicting myself, but like I just look at the right back and I'm like, they offered zero. Zero. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just between the pair of them. I'm like, rah, man. If we want to play this style of football what Ten Hag's going to play, right back is actually just as important as the centre half, because the way Ten Hag wants to play, we need people good on the ball. We need people who give attacking threats. We need people who are offering overlaps, who understand the position well, and we just don't have that at right back. But definitely central midfield. I think default you would probably still say centre half, and obviously right back. But then, like you said, the forward he really wants Anthony, and Anthony looks like that could happen as well. So it's so hard to categorize our priorities when we're so shit, because
Yeah,
actually they're
exactly.
all needed. They're
Yeah.
all badly needed, isn't it?
Exactly, and when you think about each position, like you said, when you focus on, say, right back, you go, "Oh, man, it's so bad, and it's so and they offer nothing, and they don't get assists, and so many times we conceded goals where the right back doesn't know who's over the shoulder, and it's the same goal every single time." But then when you shift onto another position, you do the same centre back, you go, "Oh, centre back's so bad. We see the same
Yeah.
goal conceded every single time, every single week." Like every and it's cliche, but it's every position.
Everything. But also
Every
look at both
position.
fullbacks, Owen, as well. Imagine we get another. Luke Shaw. I think he goes through these cycles. He'll come back and he'll try. I think he'll probably be all right at the beginning of the season under new manager. He's been off for ages. I think he just comes back and does okay before he ends up tailing off again. But
Or before he
let's say,
gets injured again.
or before he gets injured again. Let's say Luke Shaw just puts up like what Luke Shaw was last year, or just tickers along where he's just average. That's already not good enough. Then you want to play Tellez instead of him. That's not good enough. So the left fullback is shit. Right fullback I've just discussed. So, but look, both fullback areas is not the level for Man United. Even Shaw, where we know there's something in there, but we're all pretty tired of it. We're like, we just never see it consistent enough. I'll just like a whole fresh start, which that's what Tellez was supposed to be. Then we get Tellez, shit. Like I don't know, man. So you look at both fullback areas, you're like, they're priorities as well, because that will massively change how we play if we get two good players in there.
Yeah, yeah, that are contributing to attacks because again, the
Exactly.
fullback position has probably become like the most specialized position on the pitch because they do everything. The fullback position, like the days of your Gary Neville fullback, they were gone before.
Gone.
But then
Yeah.
when you do look at people like Trent, you do look at people like Cancelo, you look at Reece James,
I'm jealous.
they've
I'm jealous
completely
every week looking at these
revolutionized it.
guys, bro.
Yeah, they've absolutely revolutionized position because they're starting attacks, they're getting goals, they're getting assists, they're drifting into sort of central midfield positions, they're drifting into positions where maybe Frankie De Jong would be grabbing the ball. You know what I mean? They're doing everything and they're meant to be defending as well. You could argue maybe that's where Trent lets himself down, but he offers so much to the team and
Mm.
contributes so much that it does balance out. But we don't get that. We don't get one that's go, oh, but defensively they're so strong.
Yeah.
No, you don't get it where you say, "Oh, yeah, but they're contributing so many assists or goals." We don't get any of that.
No, you
So,
get
and
you
like
get
you said,
literally zero out of them. Nothing.
they're so crucial to sometimes how certain systems and teams play
Mm.
that you could get a really strong fullback and it could, I say revolutionize, but certainly really improve the team. But it also depends who's playing next to him. Because if your centre
100%.
back's a load of crap as well, then it
Then
doesn't
it's just
matter.
but even like I think our fullbacks are so bad. What happens is they have me questioning whether players who might not necessarily be the right players for us, they have me questioning whether them players are actually better than them. So like even like Tariq Mitchell, that if I just look at I look at how Crystal Palace play and then how aggressive he is at going up and down. I'm like, why can't my fullback do that? I look at, say, I don't know, Cucurella. Like I know he's linked with Man City now and all that and whatever. I look at obviously Lamptey when he plays. I look at people like even what's his face at Villa, Cash. Like I'm not saying he's amazing as well. I'm just saying every time I at least watch Villa, he's doing something. He's bombing up. He's getting there. He's doing something. You know what I mean? Even Target, who went to Newcastle. Like, I'm not saying these guys are good for Man United or we should
Yeah.
be going, but I look at them and say, they're just involved. They're just
Yeah.
there. They're just always up in there doing something.
And it's not wanting to be negative, but it's almost like, again, you do look at those players, you go, "Oh, I wonder if they were capable of making this step up, or I wonder if they could do that at Manchester United." But when we signed these players in the first place, when we signed Tellez, when we signed Wambasaka, when we signed Dallo, it's not to say we weren't excited because we thought, "Oh, we're going to be getting this young
Exactly.
fullback," and they just again, it's almost like the club, isn't it? It's like they turn sometimes good players into bad players, or they can't handle the pressure. I don't know, like because again, you could talk about Cucurella or whatever. He used to say if we sign him, he just turns shit.
He might
'Cause
not be good enough.
that's what
Exactly.
we do. That's what we
100%.
do to players. I'm sure when he goes to City, he'll do really well. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a really good player, but
Yeah. It's just
that's why it's so
mad.
important who we sign. Because if we could sign a fullback this summer. We could sign Dumfries, and we'd be like, "Oh, tell you what, Dumfries into Milan, Dutch international, happy about that." It might not work.
And that's the thing that gets me, yeah. Away from like the mainstays, yeah. Like, like I mean, they're like the top fullbacks, like the ones you mentioned, and Robertson and Trent and all the obvious ones. I just talk about away from that, when before Livramento got injured, just up and down doing bits. Like, just you just look at things and be like, where's that? What's going on here? Even Ben Johnson at West Ham, just up and down, just solid, just looking okay. I'm not saying go and buy him, but I just see them involved, and I just look at our fullbacks. I'm like, what's going on here? Well, obviously, yes, it was our worst season ever, but anyway, there you go. So that's Ten Hag's transfers priorities. We'll go through a couple of comments on what you guys are saying on that because it obviously divides opinion about what the priorities actually are as well. So we've got Zoe Muller says, I'm hella stressed and have a feeling Ronaldo will leave if no one is signed by the start of pre-season. I don't know about that one, man. I mean, Ronaldo just going, you know what, they haven't bought well enough, I'm off. I suppose we'll be naive to think that Ronaldo, you know, might not do that.
You know, he's just content. He's
You
happy.
just, yeah,
You know,
exactly,
but
exactly. Thank you,
I
Zoe,
don't
for that
think he
one.
will leave.
Something in my eye. I don't think he'll leave as well. I don't think he'll leave. Um, Paul Lucas says the damage Woodward inflicted for almost a decade will take a while to recover from. When I was during the war, when I was in my calm days, when I was really quite relaxed about the transfer window, that was my main point. My main point, Paul. Big up Paul Lucas, of saying you don't get to undo 10 years of failings in a matter of weeks, in a matter of one transfer window. So we got to be patient. We got to be calm. We got to eat our porridge, and the famous line that Owen came up with. Um,
I'm not
but
sure I ever said the porridge thing. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
I think
And the
Faz
porridge thing, it's
interpreted
been,
what you were
yeah,
saying as that, and then went with it, and it's just
yeah.
stuck. Yeah,
And now
that's
it's
true.
just porridge every day. I don't even have porridge in the
Yeah,
morning. That's Marcel. It was Marcel that said the porridge thing because he
was it
said, "What
myself?
did you have?" He said, "What did you have?" And he
Oh
said,
yeah,
"Porridge
yeah,
with fruit. I have banana, some strawberries, whatever." You know, coming after me.
yeah.
Disrespect.
That's true. Big up to Victor. Thank you for the super chat. Victor says they laughed at Ralph when he said 10 players. My man knew and was thrown to the wolves. Yeah, obviously, eventually we do need, upwards north of 7, 8, 9 players. We do up to 10. We do. That's eventually what we're going to need. And Steven says, thank you for the super chat as well. Steven says, morning, guys. I did say a month ago, especially to Marcel, at the board, that the board would have Eric
We've
over.
done that one.
Oh, we've done that one. Yeah, we've done that one. So there you go. I think a lot of people are frustrated. I clearly have been for a long time, and I think we're getting into that territory where it just doesn't seem to have, moved on a little bit, and the priority keeps changing because we are that bad. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you lot are new. We have, let's just check the like situation. We've got 370 odd likes. We've got pretty much 1,600 people watching. We haven't reached 500 likes yet. So let's do it. Let's do it. There's no reason why before we even get to the next topic, we shouldn't get to 500. Kind of like a mini Mike Phelan pause, like without actually doing it, because I can see it shooting up now. There you go. We're at 400. We can get another 100 as we enter into the next topic, guys. If you're enjoying the show, you're not enjoying what's going on with Man United, but you're at least enjoying the show and enjoying vibing with us. Let's get up to 500. We're nearly there. I can see it rising up. Everybody's paid attention. What it was, Owen, they was all engrossed in what was going on. You just forget.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I do get it.
Once we were talking about Eddie Murphy, forget about it. That's when we really hooked him in. Norbit.
100%.
They were saying to themselves, like, oh yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah, it was awful.
We're at 460. I'm happy with that. That means we're pretty much there. Owen, Aaron Wambasaka.
Well, it's a nice segue because we were talking about
Outgoings.
fullbacks, weren't we? We were talking
Yeah.
about fullbacks and we're talking about Aaron Wambasaka. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said to Give Me Sport a little bit about the future of Aaron Wambasaka, saying that on Wambasaka, approaches have been made for a potential loan to Manchester United, but Manchester United want to wait in case they receive a potential permanent deal. Do you think, Flex, that Wambasaka is going to leave on a permanent basis this summer, or do you think the most likely situation is him going on loan, possibly back to Palace? That's the rumor, isn't it? But do you think he could go on a permanent deal?
Just depends on Palace and their budget, really. Man United are obviously willing to let Aaron go on a permanent, but the money's got to be right. Obviously, they spent 50. Forget the 50. Forget it. Forget it. I'll tell you what's left of that 50. That's what's left. That's a fiver.
Look at you, money bags.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So
Flex has always got that. He's always just got to the side of him. He's always got cash.
It's just
You know what I
there. And since COVID, I actually haven't. I don't know why this five is actually there, but I just saw it and just thought that's probably what I'm Saka's left of his what's
You've got that's why you've got it. You went, here's the Wambasaka transfer fee. It's what I was looking for. Yeah, I got it.
It's a fiver left, mate. But
Yeah.
forget the 50 million. We didn't make an investment. Well, where we tried to, but it quickly became not an investment. So it quickly became a loss. So if we can get half of what we paid for him, 25, I'd be happy. Considering where it's gone with him, even 20. 20 would be the lowest I'm willing to accept because you've got to move him on at some point. But I'd be trying to get at least half. But Palace would be like, we'll just loan him. He's our guy. He wants to come back. You need to get him off your books because you want another fullback. We'll loan him with an obligation to buy or something like that.
How would you feel if it's a similar situation to Dean Henderson, whereby at the end it's like there's no option to buy, it's a loan, and we're paying half the wages? And don't tell me that's not realistic.
It is realistic. I'd just be pissed off again, Owen. Why do you have to remind me of that could happen?
Because we have to live in reality.
True. Fucking hell, if Man United do that, it'd be the most Man United thing to do as well.
These players we were looking to give up. We're going to sell Henderson this summer. We're going to sell Wambasaka. And then in reality, they're both on loans, no obligations to buy, and we're paying half their wages for both of them.
And you know what the crazy thing is they're two of the most sellable players in terms of what you could get for a transfer fee. Yeah, it's only Eric Bailly and Martial that you can add in that could actually give you, I know what's his face can give you a light 10 or 8 or Pereira. Brandon Williams, to be fair, there was talks about him 10 million as well, since we're on the fullback situation. But out of the players who could get you good, strong double figures, 20s and stuff like that, you're talking Wambasaka, you're talking Henderson. We kind of agreed that, north of 15 would be a push for Bailly. So, and Martial would probably get you upwards of 20 as well, obviously. But for us to then say he's gone on loan for no money, here's the thing, which I don't have faith in, but you would like to think this is the reason why, that we just needed to free up the space because we will spend on a fullback. Yes, while still paying Aaron
You'd
Wambasaka's
like to
money.
think.
Exactly. Yes, while still paying Aaron Wambasaka's money, which should be money going towards a new fullback, etc. But we couldn't secure a permanent deal. But it's not going to stop us actually going to buy another fullback. So we just wanted to free him up, even though it's a loan. We'll deal with it later. But here's your new fullback. If they did that, then you'd have to say, all right, cool. But like you said, Owen, you'd like to think that's a lot.
You'd like to think. You'd like to. I don't. It concerns me already when I see the Romano thing and he says, "Oh yeah, they've had a couple of loan approaches, but they're waiting to see if they'll get anything on a permanent basis." Means they haven't had anything on a permanent basis. There hasn't been a concrete transfer offer for Aaron Wambasaka. They've had some Premier League clubs say, "Oh, we'll take him on loan," and there's no way they don't point to the Dean Henderson loan deal and say, "Well, we just want that. You know, you caved on that one, so you're going to cave on ours as well." They've already set a bit of a precedent. And again, everyone knows Man United's situation. Everyone knows that Man United have the big rebuild and these people they want to bring in. So they'll use it to their advantage. And it's concerning. It's worrying. And also, as well, you also hear those reports of saying, oh, Wan-Bissaka's ready to fight for his position if Erik ten Hag wants to keep him at Manchester United. I mean, pre-season starts next Monday. He's probably going to be there. He's going to be part of that first
Oh,
session.
they'd definitely be there, definitely be there. But there's no, I'm saying, and I know we're saying back the manager and stuff like that. I've seen enough to know, in my personal opinion, it doesn't matter what Erik ten Hag does with him. Like he's just not. It's not even me trying to just be, you know what I mean, be that guy and criticize the guy for no reason and be disrespectful. He just isn't good enough. He's just not at the level. Technically, he's not. And I don't think you can. I don't think Erik ten Hag can teach that. I don't think anyone can teach that. He's got a great set of lungs, you know, to be respectful to Wambasaka. Because I don't like just, do you know what I mean, cleaning out our players and ridiculing them. But I've just got to be honest. He's got a great set of lungs where he can get up and down. He's fit. He's quick. Um, he's good in one-on-one situations. But fundamentally, you need so much more than that. You know,
And he
you need it.
is, it's not to say that, like you said, it's not to say that he's bad. He's just not good for that level. You know what I mean? You know, Aaron Ramsaka, you could absolutely say he's a Premier League right back for dependent on the club,
He's
dependent on
yeah. In this
dependent on the
era, he
system,
probably is. Like he should.
dependent on the system as well.
Yeah.
You know, because also as well, when he came from Manchester United, that first season,
Yeah.
people were going, oh, he's doing all right,
Yeah.
playing okay. I think the issue is with him is that after that first season, or that first, even that preseason, that what people saw was a raw player, and they hoped that there was going to be development. There has not been any development really
Stagnated, mate.
since he signed for the club. He is
Yeah.
still the same player today as he was 3 years ago.
But the thing is that now I have I have a view that he actually is bad, though. I know when you're saying like he's not bad, like, but I think he just actually is bad. Like he can't control the ball properly. Like I know I like make joke, but like the fundamentals of being able to receive the ball on the back foot on both feet, you know, taking your first touch offline, like take it out of the line that it comes to you so that you can protect it or get away from it. Just that initiation of thought, that speed of thought to operate at high intensity, think quick. You know, the weight of the pass when you lay it off to someone. You know, just the little fundamentals of taking care of the ball. He just doesn't have. And then
That's what I
that
mean. It depends on
know-how,
the
yeah,
system. I think it
yeah,
just depends on the system and the team. Again, clearly, for a Man United level or this sort of upper level in the Premier League, he's way out of his depth. But for other clubs lower down the table or mid-table teams, you know, and
yeah.
depend again,
Well, that's why Palace probably want him back.
depending on the system, I'm sure
Yeah,
he'd do fine. But he's
yeah,
just clearly, again, and this is the problem with a lot of United players or players that are in that squad, they're just not good enough.
yeah. You
And
need
you know,
more at Man United, way
exactly,
more.
they're just not good enough.
Well, since we're talking about the fullbacks, you know, Brandon Williams supposedly listening to offers for like 10 million as well. Surely not another loan for him. We've got to get a permanent as well, innit? Another fullback
Yeah,
gone
I would be
potentially.
if he goes out on loan, I would be frustrated with that because again, then it is what are we doing? You know, KG said before about Brandon Williams, oh, it's either a development loan or it's raising the player value loan. I think it was neither last season,
Mm,
honestly. And I know sometimes loans don't work out, and I know sometimes you go to clubs and it doesn't work out or whatever. But from his perspective, last season was a loan whereby he would prove that he's still he is, good enough to play for United, or he's good enough to play in the Premier League. And I know Norwich are a poor side and they're a yo-yo club, but he did not stand out in a very poor Norwich side, and I think he probably had more chances than he really deserves at United. I mean, he was playing high-profile games just a
Yeah,
couple of
he's
years
playing
ago for
big games. Yeah,
Europa League semi-finals, right?
yeah, yeah.
And he's just, again,
Derby games.
yeah,
He's
you just
playing
talk
big
about the
games.
level. You just talk about the level. He's clearly not at the level. And people can say, "Oh, that's quite cutthroat," but unfortunately, that's football. Football is a cutthroat business. You're either good enough or you're not. You have your opportunities to prove yourself. You either do or you don't, and that's it. And United
Mm.
need to be a bit more ruthless. They need to be more cutthroat when it comes to certain players. Oh, you're not good enough. Okay, we'll get rid of you. And that's it. And I don't have really any interest in seeing him go on loan again this season. The discussion then would be, what club buys Brandon Williams? I mean, you talk about Premier League level. Is Brandon Williams Premier League level? I wouldn't be shocked if a Championship club buys him.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe someone like Watford. That could he could do right there. Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. It's just we need some signings, man. There's a little bit of news coming out from James Robson, which is a little bit off topic. I want to get to that in a little bit since we're live. But let's get some comments up on what you guys were kind of listening to. I mean, Owen had our say. The Savage Fletch is gradually coming out, says Grant. You don't know I'm multifaceted in it. I think, my role is definitely to facilitate, to allow others to have their opinion, to lead shows and, to look at both sides. But obviously, yeah, I'm not, you lot know I got my opinion when I'm ready to share it. And you lot definitely noticed. Kurin says, people hating on Wambasaka first touch, but our players can't even pass to our players. Yeah, there's a lot wrong at Man United, 100%. That's, system wise, but that comes from system and shape. And, you know, when a certain player gets the ball, where do other players move to offer, just the basics of how to play that our players lack. But I mean, in terms of the fundamentals of being able to actually control the ball and manipulate the ball, I think he lacks. But you're right, you're right. Jay Carlos says coaching system can compensate for a lack of one of tech, brain, and physical ability, but not two of them. Exactly, I agree. Can't have too many of that. You can carry a couple players who might be lacking, but not more than that. Martin B says Wambasaka looked so promising at Palace. For me, he just isn't a top six mentality player. Good player, but not to the standard we need. Yeah, I just feel bad, like not bad, but even when I hear like good player, I just don't think he's good. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think he's a good player. I just think he's average, man. But I hear what you're saying. Definitely not
But
top
if he
six
was
level.
average, then that would be like, he's average in the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even below
Or are
average.
you saying he's Championship standard?
No, not he can play in the Premier League, but
So
I
he's
think his
average.
yeah, he's a bog standard Premier League player of this new era though, like of players that are just
Yeah.
everyone's getting in. There are some bang average players playing in the Premier League where you think
Yeah,
like
but
how
and the thing is, you see
uh,
that, don't you? You see that
it's
over
just this
time.
era.
There are some top six clubs where and you go back and look at them, their squads a couple of years ago. You go, I can't believe that person played for them.
Yeah,
They're rubbish. And
exactly.
it's not being harsh on Wambasaka, but I think that's what it'll be like in a couple of years' time with Wambasaka. They'll be like, oh, Wambasaka was
Yeah.
playing it right back for United. Oof.
Yeah, the same with when Dan James arrived. It's just players that just arrive, isn't it? Iris says harsh. Most of these players haven't had a proper coach in 3 years. Eric Ten Hag hasn't even had a look at them in training to know if he can work with them in his system. So fair enough, Iris. Iris is saying it's really harsh on Wan-Bissaka. There's still something there. So my question to Iris would be: do you think we should hold on to him then? Do you think we shouldn't be trying to improve the fullback area and trying to get somebody else in? Do you think he's good enough to potentially show something under Eric Ten Hag? I want to know that, Iris, your response to that. Leon says Wan-Bissaka is an old school defender, doesn't fit modern football. Yeah, you could. That's a good argument that the demands of, like what everyone was saying, the demands of a fullback now are completely different. Mark Harris, thanks for the super chat, says Maguire turns like the Titanic. Man United sinking at the moment. Yeah, a lot of people always refer to the slowness, the slowness of Harry Maguire. Just quickly, I know we did have one last topic, but I think this one's a bit more important actually. James Robson, who's been covering United for quite a while, always see him at the press conferences, always seen him about. He works for Goal. He's basically he's had some tweets this morning that I thought were quite interesting. Regarding one was on Darren Fletcher, basically saying Darren Fletcher's role is being redefined at Man United. There is an acceptance he has been asked to plug too many gaps following departures of coaching staff. So, again, domestic based journalist, quite close to the club. He's basically claiming that, okay, Man United have gone, yeah, that Darren Fletcher thing, we might have to rethink what his actual JD is, because that job description that we gave him might be a bit of a reach. We've asked him to plug too many holes. So there's that. He also tweeted um, that he expects signings to be imminent at Manchester United. After a lot of legwork has been done, new signings are now expected imminently at Man United, he goes on to say as well. And he says Man United believe Anthony will add another dimension up front. And he also says Richard Arnold and John Murtough are in agreement over this summer's transfer targets, with Frankie de Jong seen as pivotal to the new manager's system, and Christian Eriksen a no-brainer given his status as a free agent. But the one of he expects signings imminently is quite interesting, and the reformation of the Darren Fletcher situation.
Well, I would hope new signings imminently, because there is a finite amount of time to bring them in. So I would hope that new signings would be coming. I mean, we're going to be doing something about this at some point in the future, but historically, these signings do tend to get announced by Manchester United in July or August. And again, I'm not advocating that's a good or a bad thing. That's just how United tends to operate. So we spoke about this week being a big week for De Jong, and next week possibly being a bigger one. I'm not saying De Jong is going to be announced next week, but imminent signings could mean De Jong next week or the week after. Maybe the imminent signing is Bachmann flex to bring it back all around all the way to the beginning, right?
Well, just quickly, just in, big outlet out there in Spain, I want to say. Are they from Spain? Yes, yeah, I think they are. Mundo Deportivo, big following. They've claimed, and look, take this as you will. Man United have not tabled an offer for Frankie de Jong because they have not yet persuaded him. The Dutch midfielder has serious doubts over making a switch to Old Trafford this summer. Big outlet. Don't know. It could be complete bollocks. I don't know. But, it just sums up, again, more of what you said. Now it's gone back to we haven't persuaded him.
That is, and that was the original stumbling block, wasn't it? At least the kind of general consensus was that he had resigned himself, which again is not really the language you want to use, but he'd resigned himself that he was going to be joining United. Again, going back to the interview you did with Semra yesterday, I thought was interesting, which she was saying, look, I've worked with players and they've told me on several occasions I didn't want to leave a club and I didn't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
So, and I do think that's kind of, it's an interesting one, because you have a situation, say, like a Gareth Bale when he was at Madrid. But ultimately, you cannot force a player to leave. If they say, I'm not going to get this pen and put it to paper, you cannot force me to leave. They can do that. But who knows what would happen with Frankie de Jong if he stayed at Barcelona, or he just said, I'm not going anywhere. The club could be in massive trouble. There could be this standoff where he doesn't play. And if he doesn't play, is Louis van Gaal going to keep that same energy that he did with Timber of like, well, if you're not playing, you're not going to the World Cup.
I think it's a weird one because he'll play, but I think it just hurts Barcelona because he's one of their most valuable assets to sell to try and get to this deadline of June the 30th to be able to demonstrate that they've at least broken even financially for last financial year or season, 2021-22 season, and potentially have made a profit. So they kind of have to sell him. I think if he stayed, they would, I would use you. Yeah, he's not like we're going to do the Bale thing on you, but we're saying, mate, we actually can't afford for you to say you have. Mate, if Messi can get it, anyone can get it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly.
Who's Frankie de Jong to Messi? If they're telling you he has to leave, they'd have to do a Messi on him.
Although that situation was almost slightly different because he was out of contract.
He actually couldn't. Yeah, true.
He was out of contract technically. It wasn't a case of I'm just going to stay and we're going to figure it out. It was a case of my contract expired. I can't physically be registered into the squad, so I have to go. Whereas de Jong would be slightly different in that sense. But I don't know. I always felt the last couple of weeks that he had kind of, the convincing, whatever you want to call it, the persuasion had kind of been done by United. It's just if we're back to that situation where it's like, oh, is he unsure about coming? Then I'm not saying give up, because we've come too far to give up, and I still do think we'll sign him. But it's just, again, you go, come on, come on. I don't know if I have that energy, Fleck.
No, exactly. And as Josh quickly changed the thing to signings not imminent. You know what I mean?
But again, that is the perfect example of Manchester United's summer transfer window so far. Signings imminent, quickly becomes signings not imminent. And then later on today, once again, that might be signings imminent. And then tomorrow morning, it'll be signings not imminent. And that it's almost like you just never know where you stand. And you don't know if Man United know where they stand. You don't know if the fans certainly don't know. It's just, it's constant, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
constant.
I just wanted to big up. Well, actually, let's get a super chat here from Game Fanatic. Game Fanatic says, "New manager, same bullshit. Frankie De Jong saga is starting to feel like Pogba and Sancho deals all over again." Oh, it's definitely a saga. But it even feels worse because of the season that we had and how bad we are and what we need. It feels worse than those sagas. Like I think Owen alluded to when the summer we did actually get Pogba. Um, the other players that we got during that summer, it was kind of positive. So right now
And
we've got
yeah.
nobody.
And the
You know,
Pogba one was announced. That was announced in August. And I think it might be like 7 days before the season started or
yeah,
something
it's
like
quick.
that.
Yeah, it
It
was
was a quick
late.
turnaround.
Yeah, but it's quick
And
turnaround.
again, the frustrating thing with that is that everybody knew from the European Championships tournament that happened in that summer, everyone knew he was going to United.
Yeah,
But for whatever reason, it took like 2 months. Even though
ages.
everyone knew it was happening.
Yeah,
Everyone knew. But it was ridiculous.
yeah. It's honestly, it's just one of those things. But what I want, there's another super chat here as well. And I've read that one. Did I miss the other one or did I read that one? I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. I just wanted to big up everyone's response to the video we did yesterday with Semra Hunter. I think it's what I think is really important is I think obviously we congregate as a community day in day out as Man United fans, and we have our opinions. But I think it's so important to capture people outside of our bubble, hear different voices, hear different different facts. Actually, people laying out to you actually what is the situation over there in a different country, and it does give you different perspectives and help you to see things in a different light. Even though we're still angry, then the next day we hear this about Frankie De Jong. It just shows you though what actually is happening on the Barcelona side. So big up to everyone who enjoyed that video. I saw the comments; they were really, really positive. And you know that on this channel we will always try to get little bits of everything. It's not going to be an echo chamber of any single one person's voice. It's going to be all of us and plus people outside to try and get the best view, excuse the pun, that we can give you. Do you know what I mean? Multifaceted. So yeah, big up to everyone. Smash a like on the video. Thanks for watching this morning. We'll be back soon with another video. Hopefully with some more news. Because let's be honest, this morning there wasn't really much. The only thing about the Bachmann thing, which looks like they're working on it, so that could be the first signing. Other than that, we had to discuss things that we already have. We aren't going to come and lie. There aren't any things. Nothing's going on. Martinez, nothing's going on. De Jong, nothing to report. So this is where we're at. This is where we're at. No point going live just to lie to you. We may as well just talk about other stuff. So big up, guys. Smash the like on the video. We'll be back again very, very soon. Peace.